After firing Mike Brown, this Kings team has looked a lot better and have been on a 4-game winning streak, and they've actually beaten some pretty good teams, including the Golden State Warriors last night that we'll talk about right here. Looking into the box score, you can see just all around a lot of guys had really good performances. First off the bench, we have to talk about Devin Carter, the rookie for the Kings. He has been really good in a couple games that he's played so far for this Kings roster. You had Kevin Huerter being a big contributor off the bench with 16 points. 4-6 from three. So the bench gave them some pretty good production, honestly, for this Kings roster. And then in the starting lineup without De'Aaron Fox, Keon Ellis, I'm absolutely loving putting in that starting lineup. And I think he's been getting a lot more minutes and a lot more play time under Doug Christie, their interim head coach. And I think that was a huge issue that Mike Brown had, was not playing Keon Ellis a lot more and not giving him those starter type minutes and even those closing lineup type minutes, because Keon Ellis is seriously the Kings' best perimeter defender, best point of attack defender, and he's an efficient 40% three-point shooter. I know he didn't shoot necessarily amazing at only 33% from three this game against the Warriors, but if you look on the season, he's shooting over 40% from three and giving you lockdown defense on the perimeter that a guy like Davion Mitchell gave you when he was on the Kings. He's very similar to Davion Mitchell on the perimeter. But then also in this game, Malik Monk, a really good scoring performance, 26 points, 5 of 8 from three. Keegan Murray, 11 points on solid efficiency. Maybe not the best night for him, but Keegan Murray has started to look a little bit better. Sabonis obviously having a really good, well-rounded performance, like he always does. 22 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists. Did hit a three. Really efficient from the field, and this is without De'Aaron Fox, and they beat a Golden State team, with Steph Curry. Like, it's not like they didn't have Curry, and this Golden State Warriors team was injured. They had most of their guys playing, besides obviously Jonathan Kuminga, who did go out with an injury pretty recently. But Curry still had 26 points. Wiggins was still playing, dropped 18. Moses Moody had 13 off the bench. Like, this is still a pretty good Warriors team that, is only 18 and 17, and they're not the old Golden State Warriors they used to be, and they're not as dominant, but it's still a very good victory, winning by 30 points over a solid Golden State Warriors team with Steph Curry. If you can do that at any point in the season, at any point of the year, playing against Steph Curry without also your best player, like the Kings didn't have De'Aaron Fox. You look at Malik Monk, he was a plus 41. Sabonis was a plus 36. Off the bench, even Trey Lyles was plus 33. The Kings played a very dominant performance. And like I mentioned, the Kings have been on an absolute tear. And if we do take a quick look at their schedule, we can see the teams they've beaten in this run have actually been pretty good. Now, they did beat Dallas. I believe that was without Luka Doncic. But then they do beat Philly by 6 points. They beat the Grizzlies, which was a huge win for them as well. We know the Grizzlies are a top team in the Western Conference. And then, like I said, they did beat the Golden State Warriors by quite a margin. And they do have a couple. I mean, the Heat shouldn't really be a hard game tonight. Like, they're playing the Miami Heat tonight at 10 p.m. I think with how well they're playing and Jimmy Butler not playing for the Heat and just the whole stuff that's happening over there, they could easily go on a 5-game winning streak. Will probably most likely come to an end against Boston in a very hard game, against Boston. But they have some easier games after that, like Chicago, Milwaukee, Washington's in there. I'm not going to say Milwaukee's an easy game, but definitely a winnable game there. So then they kind of get to like Golden State again, then Denver, then New York. So I think this Kings team, with Keon Ellis in the starting lineup and him getting a lot more minutes, maybe not even in the starting lineup, but just getting a lot more minutes, is going to be super beneficial for this Kings team. Because I do want to take a look at the box score, for example, of this Grizzlies game, right? We could take a look here, and I just want to first scroll down to the Kings and see, who played well for them and the numbers, right? But we can see Keon Ellis was also in that starting group, and I think that's actually something they should look to do more of, because Keon Ellis, once again, 13 points, gives you great defense, but he shot 40% from three. Now, this game, he got really good performances from Malik Monk once again. DeMar DeRozan had a really good game. Fox had a solid, very bad efficiency game, but had a solid numbers-wise game at 23 points, 3 steals, 5 assists. Sabonis was obviously doing his thing as well. Actually hit a lot of threes in this game, 3 of 6 from 3 from Domantas Sabonis. Yes, obviously, the Grizzlies didn't have John Morant, but they still had Jaren Jackson Jr., they still had Desmond Bane. Jalen Wells had 30 points in this game, and this is still a really good, really deep Memphis Grizzlies team. So a great win for the Sacramento Kings, and I don't think you should take anything away just because John Morant wasn't playing. We look at the Philly performance and we check out that box score, right? Once again, Keon Ellis has been inserted into the starting lineup, and I think that's what's been really effective for them and something that's working. And I think if that's what's working, this is what the Kings roster and this is what the Kings head coach Doug Christie should continue to do give Keon Ellis a lot more minutes. For example, he played 38 minutes in this game. I mean, I'm not saying Keon Ellis is the only reason why the Kings are playing good and the only reason why, they've looked better and they've won 4 games in a row. Of course, it's not Keon Ellis and just him, but he's such a good perimeter defender, and it takes a lot off other guys in the starting lineup like DeMar and Fox and Monk. Them not having to guard the other team's best player, is going to save them so much energy and save them so much as willpower on offense. And Keon Ellis is not like a bad offensive player. He can hit the three ball well. He's pretty quick. Like, he's a small guard, but he's quick. He's maybe not putting up crazy offensive numbers, but he's hitting the three ball very effectively on the season, and he gives you that really good defense. So I think that's the best move that Doug Christie could have made, was putting Keon Ellis in the starting lineup and just giving him a ton more minutes, because that's something that Mike Brown wasn't doing, and potentially a reason why he did get fired, because it's very obvious this is the Kings' only perimeter defender pretty much on the entire roster, that actually does get minutes. That's actually, contributing for this team. And he's one of their better 3-point shooters that also plays a ton. So you need Keon Ellis in the starting lineup, and you need Keon Ellis getting a lot more run and a lot more playtime. And then just to look at this Dallas game, like I said, I do believe Luka Doncic wasn't playing. So, and Kyrie Irving wasn't playing as well. But it's a win, right? Keon Ellis, he wasn't playing this game. Or no, he was playing. Sorry, he was playing. He did get 20 minutes, 7 points, 1 of 3 from 3. So, again, this win you can't maybe put too much stock into, because it was against a Dallas Mavericks team without Kyrie Irving and without Luka Doncic. But still, it's a win for the Kings, right? They were really struggling beforehand. Like, if we look at their schedule before they went on a 4-game winning streak, they were on I think that's 6-game losing streak. So, even though it might not be the most impressive wins, like Memphis without Ja, Mavs without Kyrie or Luka, but a good win against Philly and a good win against Golden State, like a blowout win against Golden State, was super impressive to see. And I'm not saying by any means are the Kings going to be title contenders in the Western Conference. Like, if we take a look at the standings, I think they could fight to potentially be back in that play-in spot, only 2 games below the Timberwolves, but the Suns are also down there as well. But yeah, I'm not making this video sitting here and saying the Kings look amazing and they look like the best team in the West and all this crazy statements. No, I'm just saying they do look a lot better. Keon Ellis, I think, is a huge addition, putting him in the starting lineup, and he's been playing really good this season. And other guys like Fox have been playing good. Monk has been playing really good, at least scoring the ball, since De'Aaron Fox has been kind of out of the lineup a little bit. So I really like this Kings team a lot more. I don't know if Doug Christie is like the longtime coach replacement, and I'm not sure if that's what they're going to do like in the offseason. Are they going to try to hire a head coach? Are they going to go with Doug Christie? I'm not exactly sure, but I'm starting to believe a little bit more in the Sacramento Kings team, that they could potentially make a run and get into that play-in. And I still think they're a pretty good team on paper, with guys like De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, DeMar, Malik Monk, Keegan Murray, Keon Ellis. Like, they have a deep roster. Guys like Trey Lyles, guys like Kevin Huerter off the bench. I think they have a good roster, and I think that they play very well together. They have good chemistry. I think Fox and Sabonis are a really good 1-2 punch in the NBA. And yeah, I think the Kings are starting to figure it out. They've been playing a lot better recently. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about the Sacramento Kings? I wasn't really too confident in them after firing Mike Brown. I thought that was going to be a huge downfall for them, and they were going to probably trade Fox and maybe go into a full rebuild, or just kind of tank this season and just play it out. But they're looking a lot better after firing Mike Brown. Keon Ellis, I think, is the main reason for that. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about the Sacramento Kings? And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.